In a land where winter never ended, where snowflakes danced like little fairies and the cold winds whispered ancient secrets, a little girl named Mary lived near a frozen forest. She was a delicate child, with big green eyes that shone like emeralds and long black hair that cascaded down her back like midnight silk. One day, as she wandered through the snowy woods, she saw something struggling in the frost, a small, white snake, nearly frozen to death. Its scales shimmered like pearls against the snow. Mary, filled with kindness, carefully picked up the shivering creature and wrapped it in her warm scarf. "Don't worry, little one," she whispered, cupping it in her hands. "I'll take care of you." She took the snake home, warmed it by the fireplace, and fed it drops of warm milk. The snake looked at her with golden eyes as if understanding her kindness. After a few days, when it had regained its strength, the snake slithered towards the window, turned back to look at her one last time, and disappeared into the snowy wilderness. Years passed. Mary grew into a beautiful young girl, but the frozen forest remained the same, wild, dangerous, and full of hidden mysteries. One evening, during a terrible snowstorm, Axa found herself lost in the woods. The snow fell thickly, the wind howled like a beast, and suddenly, a deep growl echoed from behind her. She turned, her heart pounding. A massive black bear stood there, its eyes gleaming with hunger. It had been starving in the harsh winter and saw Mary as an easy meal. She tried to run, but the snow was too deep. The bear lunged. Just as its sharp claws nearly struck her, a blur of white appeared before her eyes, a tall, handsome young man with long silver hair and golden eyes. He moved with inhuman speed, stepping between her and the bear. With a flick of his hand, a powerful wave of frost and wind blasted from his palm, sending the bear fleeing into the storm. Axa gasped, shivering not just from the cold, but from disbelief. "Who are you?" she whispered. The man turned to her, his golden eyes glowing softly. "You saved my life once," he said, his voice deep yet gentle. "A long time ago, when I was just a little white snake." Mary's breath hitched. The memory of the tiny, frozen creature flashed in her mind. "It was you." He nodded, a soft smile touching his lips. Kindness never goes unrewarded. Tears welled in her green eyes. The storm around them suddenly didn't feel as cold anymore. From that day on, whenever Mary walked through the snowy forest, she never felt afraid, because she knew, somewhere in the frost and shadows, a guardian was always watching over her.
Like, share,